During the Third Age, humanoids became resentful of the gods. They believed that the gods had abandoned them. Many temples and churches were burned to the ground during the early days of this age of abandonment. Widespread atheism and nihilism took the world in a death grip. Many of those who refused to reject their gods and religions were hunted and killed at the worst, or beaten and shamed at the best. Because of this, it became extremely dangerous to worship the gods during the Third Age. Many religious leaders came together and decided that they needed a place to be a safe haven for the pious. However, with their magic now effectively nerfed, it was difficult to create such a place through magical means. So, after years of hiding in caves and living in squalor, many churches managed to collect various jewels of arrow. They used the power stored in these jewels to create a new home where once there was nothing. After the Shielded Isles were erected, many religious types fled there, seeking refuge from the persecution and chaos which had gripped the continent of Great Reach. During their time in hiding, many minor periods and ages would pass. Different races would come into power and fall into obscurity in the outside world. Dragons and giants would rule entire continents, and whole religions would be genocided and scrubbed from history. The three clerics who raised the Shielded Isles from the ocean chose to remain anonymous. However, they decided that the world of religion should be split into virtues that each follower should try and emulate. They split the many churches into these three categories. The three virtues were hope, charity, and faith. Every 50 years, an election would be held on the Shielded Isles. Each group of churches would elect a god to represent their virtue, and thus the leader of that church would become a member of the triumvirate. And so this is how things went for the newly dubbed nation of Ethela for an unknown amount of time, as they did not care for keeping records. This was until they opened trade with their closest neighbors, a newly formed city-state by the name of Mildura. People all across Great Reach began traveling to Mildura in order to learn about the gods of their ancestors. After some time had passed, the triumvirate convinced the Senate of Mildura that it was time to officially start a new age. They used Mildura's influence to spread clerics to the rest of the known world, and officially declared the Fourth Age started, the Age of Redemption. Since this event, Mildura has remained Athela's closest ally. Some believed that all of the time the pious spent on the Shielded Isles gave them a lust for power and corruption, one that the Senate of Mildura worked off of quite successfully. Though this is all just theories in the dark, Ethela is a main pinnacle location for religious pilgrimage, and there are many people born on the island who never see the outside world by their own choice. Ethela and the Shielded Isles remains one of the most important historical locations in the history of Runera.